Is that for real?
Live from Studio B at KPRC Channel 2. Houston Life starts now.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Houston Life on this very wet and rainy Monday, September 21st. So glad to have you with us. I'm Derek Shore.
And I'm Courtney Savala. We just decided to brighten it up. I know it's gloomy out there. We went for the tie-dye and the neon today.
I thought about wearing black, right? Because it just seemed like that sort of, it seemed appropriate to wear black today.
I know.
But I'm glad we didn't. I have to say, though, I am so cold right now.
Really?
The studio is very cold, isn't it?
I'm okay, and maybe because this is like a little heavier than I'm used to wearing, and this is all, the studio's typically colder anyway, but I'm in like a sweatshirt material. Speaking of, you know, the Emmys were last night. I know we need to get to something, but maybe we should talk about that in a minute.
About the Emmys? We can.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the meantime, just in case anyone is, you know, out there wondering what's up with the weather, you can always follow clicktohouston.com because
Great
our
resource.
meteorologists, they are working around the clock. Just coming downstairs just now to the studio, you can barely even see outside because it is raining so hard. And of course, we all know what happens in Houston and in this area when we get so much rain in a short amount of time. It's not good news.
I know, it's not. But definitely keep it right here. We're going to have a live update with weather in about 30 minutes, too. So we're going to get you caught up on all of that. And what about coming up on the show, besides our weather, we do have some other things to talk about, including the Holocaust Museum. You know, this new exhibit called Mandela, Struggle for Freedom. You can take a look back at Nelson Mandela's journey and fight for justice and human dignity and its relevance to issues of today. Joe Sam and Lauren Kelly are out there today for a preview, plus details on how you can experience the museum for free this weekend. An amazing exhibit.
Well, he has such an incredible story, the life and legacy that he leaves behind. I think we can all learn something from him. Very much looking forward to that. Also, it is National Drive Electric Week. We're going to chat with electric car advocate Chelsea Sexton. I love this woman. She has been supporting the movement for more than 2 decades. You might have seen the documentary Who Killed the Electric Car? She was part of that original team that launched a car that most of us have never even heard of. It was called the EV1, and GM, this was their brainchild. Well, here we are decades later. We're going to hear Chelsea's thoughts on the future of transportation and whether she thinks we'll all be driving electric cars one day. Very interesting. That little white Nissan Leaf, that was actually, full disclosure, was
that your car?
That was not my car, but I did drive a car exactly like that, my little Nissan Leaf. And I think I got it about 10 years ago. I remember seeing this documentary and thinking, wow, if only an electric car would work for me. And then like 3 days later, I had this little electric Leaf. Granted, the range wasn't, I think
quite as large as it is now, right?
It went 115 miles, which was, you know, enough to like commute every day. But now that electric cars go more than 300 miles on a charge, it's pretty incredible. So I'm really looking forward to chatting with Chelsea, and I'm excited that she made time for us today on Houston Life.
Were you nervous, or did your car ever run out of the charge? Back in the day.
So back in the day. Now, again, because range is so much longer, it's no big deal.
No. I'm talking about like the Leaf. I never even heard of that car.
The little Nissan Leaf? Yeah, 100% electric. It's a great little car, fast and quiet. And yeah, I worried. I never got stranded anywhere, but I certainly did worry. And before I was able to plug it at my house, before I got the charger, I used to have to depend on public charging. And sometimes you see these chargers at the grocery store and stuff. Well, little Derek, 10 years ago, could never find a place to charge the car because, you know, other people would just park in electric car spaces. It's like people don't take electric car drivers seriously. So they're like, oh, look, it's a space that's, you know, it's marked electric car, but I don't care. I'm going to park there anyway. It's being called iced out. That's like the technical term.
That's what the kids call it?
So I was iced out a lot back in my day. Yeah, there were some challenges for sure. And people were always very confused. Like, wait a minute, your car is electric? I remember this guy one time was like, your car is so quiet. And I said, well, yeah, it's electric. There's no, and he was like, but there's no extension cord. How could it possibly be? So I think for people to wrap their head around the idea.
Yeah, years ago, absolutely.
Years ago, but I still think even now, I mean, people have a hard time sort of understanding how it works.
Well, at least now there's way more accessibility for those chargers. I mean, they're all over. I mean, you see them more frequently, of course, than we did a decade ago.
Yeah, for sure. But if you charge at home, then you're not really going to charge that much on the road, except for road trips. But anyway, we'll get into that later. You know I'm a big fan, and I'm excited.
I know.
We have all of these Houston area auto dealerships, like 19 of them, who are involved in this National Drive Electric Week. So people who are, even if you don't drive an electric car, you can still learn about them. And yeah.
What's the slogan you have for me? For me to get an electric car? What is it?
Oh, I tried to get Courtney to... Because getting gas is a pain, right?
It really
is.
It's
a pain. And people always say, like, oh, but where do you charge? Well, it's just ready to go in your garage every morning.
Right.
It's just ready. You don't even have to think about it. And so when Courtney was considering a new car, I was like, you're too pretty to get gas. But this is what I meant. You know when you're dressed up to go to church, or you're wearing like a nice suit, and then it's like, oh man, I have to...
Or you're in your PJs and you don't feel like getting out of your car and pumping gas. I mean, it happens.
Totally. I would always, before I drove an electric car, I would always be like running late, or it would be late at night, and I would be in a sketchy part of town and I needed gas.
In a situation, yes, absolutely.
Or a rainy day like today. Yes, and you're like, oh man, I have to go to this meeting, but I can't get there because my car's out of gas, so now I have to get... Anyway, whatever. It saves a lot of headaches, I will say that. And you are too pretty to get gas.
Well, thanks. We're going to work on that.
How was your weekend?
The weekend was good. There were some other friends in the studio from our promotions department asked me the same thing, and I said, no, it wasn't long enough. I feel like, they just kind of... You blink and it's over. It's like Friday night and you're ready, and then nothing.
I know, but we were preempted. We got a lot of sweet notes from you guys.
We really
like,
did.
Where are you? Thursday and Friday, Houston Life was preempted because golf was on TV. So even despite the fact that we weren't on the air, I still feel like the weekend was lickety-split. Too short.
It really was. But nothing to report, really. I mean, we just kind of hung out at home. I made some pumpkin bread. Tis the season. Tis the season.
It was hard to get out of bed this morning, too, on a rainy, cloudy morning. And dare I say, it feels like fall.
It does. It's fall, y'all. I mean, that's the slogan. But listen, I will tell you what happened. You said it was hard for you to get out of bed today.
Yeah.
It definitely was not hard for us to get out of bed today.
Uh-oh.
Because let me tell you, it was, have you ever been jolted out of a dead sleep out of bed?
Yeah.
How traumatic that can be.
Earthquakes, fire alarms, bad dreams.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Asleep?
Thunder, lightning.
Yeah, totally asleep.
Okay.
The doorbell rings.
At what time?
I mean, it was still dark out. So when we jumped out of bed, we had no idea what time it was.
It's staying dark a lot later now.
It really is. It was 6 a.m.
Someone rang your bell at 6 a.m.?
And I mean, I thought it was go time. Like, I didn't know what was happening. The dog's barking. Of course, the two kids, they could sleep through a sonic boom. They didn't wake up. But
was it a neighbor telling you, like, the dog had gotten loose or something?
No. Oscar was inside with us, of course. And no, I mean, honestly, I thought like the front door was going to be broken down. I had no idea what was happening.
That's so scary.
So scary. Jolted out of bed.
I think if someone's going to break your door down, they might not ring your bell first.
I know, but
Hey, just letting you know, I'm about to kill you.
I know. We were totally asleep. I had no idea, jolted out of bed, what was happening.
Oh, no.
Do you know who it was?
Like a neighbor kid?
No. UPS driver. Delivering a package. 6 a.m.
That better have been some package.
I'm thinking to myself, I said, what? To Orlando, because he could see.
They deliver that early?
Never in my life have I ever had a 6 a.m. package.
So what was in the package?
Oh, well, it's good stuff. It was actually... It's actually
good stuff. Makes it sound
it's
really
beauty product.
sketchy.
It was definitely for me. It's beauty product. But
the UPS driver's like, I heard
this
you
girl
need
needs
these
it.
beauty products badly.
6 a.m.
Why?
I mean, I took the eye mask off. I had no contacts in. I didn't know what was happening, literally.
Did you open the door and
No, but I said to Orlando,
driver?
do not open the door. And there was the package.
Don't you have a little camera thing you can talk to him on your phone?
Well, I do, but we were jolted out of bed. We were running around. The dog's barking. Everything's crazy.
Did the boys wake up?
No, I'm telling you, it could be a sonic boom, and those two will never wake up.
That was like me as a kid.
I mean, drooling.
Once all the fire alarms went off in the house, and you know when one goes off, they all go off,
They all go
right?
off.
Fire trucks rolled through our neighborhood.
Asleep
they came in
the whole time?
The firemen came through the house. They went into the attic just to check. My mom was like, I don't know what is going on. Went into the attic, the whole thing. The next morning, I didn't have a clue.
No clue at all.
Nothing.
I love it.
Oh no, I'm a very heavy sleeper. Wow.
Can you believe? I mean, I don't know if it was a package that was supposed to be delivered and then Or was it early? I've never received a UPS package at 6 a.m. in the morning. Ever.
Oh, man.
But if you did, I'm wondering for all the UPS or delivery people, maybe just don't ring the doorbell at 6 a.m.
This is why you guys need a tall fence with a gate, and this is why we have one. If someone were to ring my doorbell, you know how I feel about this. I find it annoying. I don't like uninvited guests. You're not ringing my doorbell unless I know you're supposed to be at the house.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, back in the day, people would ring the doorbell. Who's coming in? Your mom wants to make them a salad, have some coffee, have some tea. That's like a whole thing. Now, everybody's hits the deck. You know, who's expecting? Nobody's expecting anybody. You know, there's that comedian that's like doing the army crawl down the kitchen so no one can see you movement in the house. I mean,
do you think that's like a time and place generational thing? Like now that we're in 2020, or is it like
nobody's knocking? No, because you can't even ding dong. You know, like knock and run or whatever.
A doorbell ditch?
Yeah, ding dong ditch. You can't do that anymore. A doorbell ditch. You can't because everybody has rings and you know.
Yeah, they're gonna catch you on camera.
Just like you can't. Prank call. I totally just.
It's been so long.
Having a moment.
Or yeah, wrapping someone's house, toilet papering.
You can't wrap anybody. They all know.
Camera. I thought it was maybe a cultural thing, like a Utah thing growing up. When I think back to all the times we used to be interrupted, you know, the neighbors would just like pop over. We had this woman once stop to pay us a visit, which is code for complain about all our problems. She stayed for 7 hours. 7 hours. And my mom and I have had this conversation in my adult life. I'm like, Mom, you have to set boundaries with people. You have to learn how to say no. And when someone shows up at your house and, you know, 7 hours later, you're like, wow, look at the time. We haven't even showered today. And this is fascinating.
You know, pack them up and show them the door. I mean, you cannot.
Don't open it to begin with.
I know. But here's the thing during COVID, nobody's coming in. They may ring your bell. They ain't coming in your house. You know?
I'll talk to them on the speaker and pretend that I'm like the nanny. Oh, I'm naked. Sorry, naked. Cannot come to door. It works every time.
Oh, my God.
It does.
Well, we
Try
don't
that
have
sometime.
a high fence and a gate, but
there's always time to build one.
there is one. There is.
It's a horrible, you know, like the best neighbor, they actually encourage people to get rid of the fences, to get rid of the gates, because it creates like a better neighborhood. When you feel like you can just interrupt someone by ringing their doorbell.
6 a.m. That was
I'm telling
early.
you. Oh, sorry, naked.
Yeah, but I really think, though, I mean, there wasn't time to think. We couldn't get on. We were jolted out of bed.
I'm sorry that happened to you. That's got to be traumatic.
It was.
I don't like being startled out of bed. The thunder does it all the time here in Houston. You know who I wish were my neighbors? Our new friends, Tom and Sandy Willis.
They are fabulous.
They're so fun. And in case you missed last Wednesday's Houston Life, they did a little wine tasting with us. And it turns out a lot of their neighbors saw it as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, I think we've got a little bit of a SOT, what we call, some sound from Wednesday's show. Let's check it out.
And before we end the segment, I'd like to give a toast if it would be all right with you.
Of course.
I'm a one wine lady, 2 at the most. With 3, I'm under the table, and with 4, I'm under the host.
Oh, dear.
We love you guys.
Well, look at that. We're out of time.
Cheers. I mean, there's not a lot of times we get left speechless.
Yeah, we were pretty speechless. Also, we're definitely going to use that from now on. She did have a shirt that looked like it was just a bad acronym. What did it stand for?
I don't remember. Wine Tasting Friends. WTF, Wine Tasting Friends. Her shirt's fabulous. Both of them are fantastic. And shout out to all the viewers at Eagles Trace, which is their senior community that they live at, and such a great couple.
Yeah, I actually called Sandy after the show and we chatted for a bit, and you know, they've been on 80 cruises together. And they found each other. They've been married 17 years.
Oh, my gosh.
So they found each other later in life. He had been divorced and she had lost her husband. And I think it is so fantastic that they found each other. And I just wish we lived a little closer. Post-COVID, we're coming over for happy hour.
Oh, I think so. We could take the show on the road to Eagles Trace. I have a feeling that they're a lot of fun out there.
You know what? According to Tom and Sandy, they have a lot of great neighbors.
I know.
So we should go by
well, cheers to them. Absolutely. Speaking of wine, we need to tell people about this latest giveaway that we have going on for Fredericksburg. It's a midweek getaway. You can enter now on our website. Listen to this. Grand prize includes 2-night stay, for two, a wine tour, gift certificates to local restaurants, and attraction passes.
Very nice. Deadline to enter is Thursday, and you do have to be 21 to enter, of course, because wine is involved. The really bad news is that Courtney and I are not eligible to win this.
Yeah.
But the good news is you all are eligible to win, and since it's a stay for two, you could take one of us.
Right. Oh, I like how that works out. And by the way, that's on our website too, so go check it out. We do want to mention when we come back, guys, the Holocaust Museum of Houston is open for visitors. We're going to get a look at their current galleries and a new exhibit honoring the legacy of Nelson Mandela.
Welcome back. The Holocaust Museum Houston aims to preserve the memory of those who perished and the stories of those who survived for future generations.
The museum is home to 4 permanent galleries and 2 changing exhibits, including the new Mandela Struggle for Freedom exhibit. Houston Life reporters Lauren Kelly and Joe Sam are taking us inside this unique facility today, and we have Lauren up first to give us a peek. Hi, Lauren.
Hey guys, you know, lots of Jewish families over the weekend, including my own, celebrated Rosh Hashanah, which means the new year. It's the new year for the Jewish religion, so you ate apples and honey to signify a sweet new year. Now we're taking you inside Holocaust Museum Houston to learn about past events, and no better person than to speak with than the CEO, Miss Kelly Zuniga, is here with me today. Now, when people think of Holocaust Museum Houston, they think of one major event. But we're also here to tell you that there's plenty more here than just the Holocaust exhibit.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we're standing here at the Human Rights Gallery, which is a permanent exhibition that talks about what happened after the Holocaust and how did the human rights movement begin. And so it provides that history, and you're going to learn about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and exemplars, individuals like Nelson Mandela that made a difference in our society today.
We were talking about some of these rights, and inside this large room, there's tons of information on the wall. There's videos, there's artifacts, and it really takes you from start to finish to today and helps you understand exactly the way that things began and how they're going, right? You can come in here and you can learn all about it.
Absolutely, and especially for young children, that they can learn about the history of human rights, but also how can they make a difference today? And how can they work with social justice-oriented nonprofits that want to make a difference in Houston? So we really encourage you to take action and learn how to do that here at Holocaust Museum Houston.
Absolutely. I would suggest everybody in the city come by at least once in their lifetime to learn about the amazing things in this building. First of all, I do want to point out, if you guys want to come with me this way, this beautiful piece of artwork. Kelly, can you tell us about this?
Yes, this is the Katz family butterfly loft, which is representative of the 1.5 million children that perished in the Holocaust. So every butterfly is a symbol of a child that was perished in the Holocaust. But it also is a symbol of hope and how we can learn from our past mistakes and for a better future.
Absolutely. It's just beautiful. I just absolutely love that installation here. And also coming up a little bit later on in the show, our other Houston Life reporter, my co-host, my partner here, Joe Sam, is here. You guys have a brand new Mandela exhibit that we're going to get into.
Yes, we do. In fact, it's the U.S. premiere of the Mandela exhibition here at Holocaust Museum Houston.
That's fantastic. Well, Kelly, thank you for your time. He's also going to tell us how we can get into the museum on free coming up this Saturday. Derek and Courtney, back to you guys.
Lauren, very nice. It is such a beautiful building. They had that big rebuild, the renovation a few years ago, so it is a must visit.
Absolutely. Lauren, thanks so much. And we look forward to seeing Joe Sam. As you just heard, he's going to get a look inside the new Nelson Mandela Struggle for Freedom exhibit at the Holocaust Museum.
Plus details on what Lauren just said, how you and your family can experience the museum for free this weekend. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Now let's get a check of today's headlines with Keith, Christine, and Frank on this very soggy day ahead of the news at 4. Hey, guys.
Hey guys, great to see you. Hope you had a great weekend. Yeah, we have a lot to discuss, including this tropical storm.
Yeah, very wet Monday, wet week we're going to have. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Frank Billingsley.
Yeah, well, you see behind me, this is the 61st Street Pier in Galveston, some of which is already gone from last night. It's gotten a little fuzzy there, but it's shaking. There's the wind there, and the rains are coming in, that's for sure. We have the 1 p.m. advisory. We'll have the new 4 o'clock today at 4. But you can see this is the track. The Hurricane Center is taking this onshore right around 7 o'clock down around Port O'Connor and Matagorda. 50-mile-an-hour storm. So it may increase just a little bit from the 45 at 1 p.m., but it really falls apart pretty quickly in terms of wind strength to 35 miles an hour by Wednesday morning, and then continues to move off toward Louisiana and Mississippi. So I want to go a little closer here so you can see this line without those icons. And you can see that track there is really right along the coast. But I tell you, as long as we have a system that is spinning and the Gulf of Mexico to pull moisture in, we have to keep our guard up as far as heavy rains coming in and some flooding concerns. That's really about the only issue with this storm. I don't think the winds are going to be too problematic, maybe some power outages. But here's the RPM Futurecast, and you can see these rain bands continue to move in. That's 9:30 tomorrow morning. Still raining, and it continues to rain right on through the afternoon. This is Tuesday at 6:15, and then this big clump comes through on Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. This is noon Wednesday, but it rains and rains and rains. So it may not rain that much at any one given moment, but it could add up pretty quickly. 5 to 7 inches for a large area along the coast, 3 to 5 for parts of Harris County, and then 1 to 3 back off to the north and west. So it's really the coastal concerns that we're going to have to watch for. Add in the rain and also that 2 to 4 foot storm surge doesn't have anywhere to drain. So watch out at the coast. We'll talk more about it at 4 o'clock, but it is going to be a wet one for the next couple of 3 days.
All right, we will hear from you then, Frank. Thank you. And we, of course, also have team coverage related to Tropical Storm Beta. Our reporters along the coastal communities being impacted right now. We will show you the latest conditions. That's ahead at 4.
Also coming up at 4 o'clock, pediatric dental visits, like most medical visits right now, are down. Health reporter Haley Hernandez is going to show you the steps that you can take to maintain your child's oral health.
Plus, we are talking about last night's Emmys. We will be joined live by Entertainment Tonight co-host Kevin Frazier. We will chat about the winners, the ambiance, and the biggest moments.
All the glam, you guys.
Oh, yeah. Surprisingly so, too. But one of our favorite shows won, you know, Blank Creek.
They
did a whole sweep.
Yes. And in case you missed the show, I mean, it's probably the perfect time to just hunker down at home, enjoy the rain, and catch up on some TV, guys.
Without a doubt.
Good idea.
We'll see you at 4 p.m.
Sounds good.
So we were discussing at the top of the show the way we woke up this morning, Orlando and I, to a doorbell being rung at 6 a.m. And we have some viewer comments. Some people are weighing in. We're going to start with Debbie, who wrote in saying that our doorbell rang at 2 a.m. one morning, frightening, but it turned out to be a hospice worker who had the wrong house.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, goodness.
Sad situation. Pamela wrote in, UPS also comes and rings doorbell at 11 p.m. Scared us to death. But I was also scared for the driver being put in that position. And, you know, thanks for your comments, Pamela. It made me realize these delivery companies, they are probably so slammed right now, right? We've heard of the Postal Service delays. They're probably just expanding their hours to ensure that they can get all the deliveries out.
Absolutely. I was amazed that that person was on the road and delivering, and unbelievable. But it was a jolt to be woken up that way. That's for sure.
Well, I'm glad it was a package.
Yes.
And nothing
beauty
more.
product.
Beauty products. Very critical. All right, still ahead, the movement to drive electric is gaining traction around the nation, including right here in Houston. What to know about electric vehicles and the future of transportation next. Welcome back. In the United States today, there are more than 1.5 million electric vehicles on the road. And it's estimated that a couple decades from now, more than half the vehicles on the road will be 100% electric. It's a milestone that many folks thought was impossible, but now it's impossible to ignore. Chelsea Sexton has been a proponent of electric cars for decades, and she joins us now with more on National Drive Electric Week. Chelsea, welcome to Houston Life. We're going to learn more about this National Drive Electric Week in just a moment. But early on in your life, Chelsea, you became an advocate for clean, efficient transportation. Where did this drive, no pun intended, come from?
By accident, as most of the best things usually do. I started selling cars at 17, gas cars, as a way to put myself through college. And a few years into that, the EV1 came out from General Motors, or at least it was planned. And I was such a nerd that the technology itself appealed to me, and I jumped over to that program instead, drove it for the first time, discovered I like torque and horsepower more than anybody rightfully should, and I have been an addict ever since.
So that sort of puts the myth to the test. Electric cars are not slow and sluggish, they are super fast. The EV1 was like this original electric car developed by General Motors, and I know that you worked to help that launch. That was 24 years ago, right?
December 1996. So yes, we're coming up on 24 years.
And since then, I mean, talk to us about what the last few decades have meant for the electric car, because it seems like now, even today in 2020, a lot of people are totally unaware of how they work, how they charge, how far you can go, and all of the things.
For sure. And yeah, on one hand, we have 1.5 million cars. At the same time, we sell somewhere between 14 and 17 million cars every single year. So it's a drop in the bucket, even as we're excited that momentum is building. It has always been a very grassroots, consumer-oriented technology. And so it remains kind of the only example in the history of the auto industry in which we've had to pull the industry along. And to a large degree, that's still true. There's still many automakers that are kind of ambivalent, and there are others that are starting to see the light and really get into this in a much bigger way. And so we're excited about all of them, but we remain perpetual cheerleaders and coaches and occasionally flogging to try to get the industry to move along with us and not become the Kodak of the automotive world.
That's a great way to say it. No one wants to become the Blockbuster Video of the video world either, right? Like, they didn't go out of business because people stopped watching films. Let's talk about this documentary, Who Killed the Electric Car? And I know this was back in 2006. I saw the documentary. I'm a huge fan of yours, and you definitely got me thinking about the world and the way we do things. It has been 14 years since that documentary. Are we farther along now than you expected we would be, or are we farther behind in terms of the mass adoption of electric cars? And why do you believe it's important that we move in this direction?
To your first question, yes. Many of the dynamics frustratingly remain the same, and yet there has been progress, mostly because the happy warriors, whether they're drivers on the outside or individual advocates or happy warriors inside companies, are trying to still nudge this along. And policymakers need to be more credited as well. Part of the reason we have EVs at all are because California established a mandate in the 90s requiring automakers to start building cleaner cars. National standards in both the US and Europe continue to get more stringent, and so we're starting to see improvements even in gasoline cars, but certainly in support for electric cars. And so all of those things are encouraging, and yet, understandably, because they're profit-oriented, most of the industry would rather still make the things that are familiar and profitable and that they're used to, and not necessarily move along as quickly as customers want, as policy requires, and to some degree even as the planet requires.
Just the term electric car, I know it freaks a lot of people out in Houston because we're an oil and gas town, but it's interesting to see a lot of these oil and gas companies sort of rebranding as energy companies, right? Because our energy needs are growing. Texas is the leader when it comes to wind power. Tesla just announced they're building a huge gigafactory over in Austin in Travis County. Talk to us about this National Drive Electric Week that is happening, because right here in the Houston area, I think we have something like 19 area auto dealerships who are totally on board. They have partnered up with you.
That's awesome. I mean, we love to see that, and dealers are incredibly important to the success of all of this. National Drive Electric Week is in its 10th year, although it's a reflection of something we learned even earlier, which is that the best way to get people interested in electric cars is to give them the chance to see, touch, drive, talk to real owners, basically be exposed to them, because until that happens, most people think of electric cars as golf carts in the US or milk floats in Europe. They think of them as slow and pokey and unable to go anywhere, and not at all respectful of the passion that exists for cars in general. They're an emotionally driven product, and electric cars are no different. So that's the birth of National Drive Electric Week. Obviously, this year is a little bit different for obvious reasons, and so many of the events have gone online, but not all. There's about 100 online events and about 50 that will be in person with all the relevant distancing and things involved to keep everyone safe. But we still are aspiring to let people have the opportunity to learn more about them, to provide virtual experiences with them, and overall overall get them more excited about the idea that their next car might be electric, even if they're not quite there yet today. So it's not a matter of pushing anything on anyone. It's that we have a very big tent and a very cool experience, and we're inviting everyone to join our party.
Free to sign up. We're going to make sure we have a link on our Houston Life Facebook page. Very quickly, last question, because we're out of time. We're starting to see not just electric cars, but we're seeing electric buses, electric bicycles, delivery vans for Amazon. Is it just a fad, or do you believe that electric cars and electric everything will be the future?
Electric transportation is the future in all forms. And even those that aren't ready for electric cars should try an electric bike or climb on an electric bus or, root for electric street sweepers to come to your town, if for no other reason they are so much quieter and smoother and less disruptive to neighborhoods in electric mode. So yes, in all of these ways, they're all equally important and they all move on parallel paths. But anywhere we can have electrons replace fossil fuels, that's a great thing. And lots of electricity comes from natural gas, and a little bit even comes from oil, but we can also use the oil for better things than putting it in our cars. So this is not really so much of an oil and gas versus EV thing. This is an everybody moving into the future thing.
Well said. Chelsea Sexton, thank you so much. National Drive Electric Week. A reminder to our viewers that we do have a link on our website if you would like to learn more about it. Chelsea, thanks so much.
Thanks for letting me crash your party.
You're always welcome. All right, when we come back, September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. From who's at higher risk to treatments available in the Houston area. Find out what you need to know about the disease next.
Welcome back. September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, a time to keep in mind that about 1 out of 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime.
To stress the importance of screenings and having the right treatment for this disease, we are joined now by Dr. Nathaniel Barnes and Dr. Sharik Khwaja with Memorial Hermann Cancer Center. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. And 1 in 9, those are pretty big numbers. We were chatting during commercial break. I lost my grandfather after his battle with prostate cancer. Talk to us about just the risk group. Are there certain groups of people who are more at risk of developing this disease?
It is the #1 cancer in men in America. It's still the #2 cause of cancer death, although we've been impacting that mortality pretty significantly over the last 30 years. The at-risk groups are primarily 2 groups. All African-American men genetically are placed in the high-risk group, but then any other man who has a primary degree relative, a father or a brother with a history of prostate cancer. And then there's the ultra-high risk group when you find clusters of 2 or more primary degree relatives with prostate cancer.
And Dr. Khwaja, if we can just break it down, and we hear a lot, of course, this is a Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, the month of September, the color blue. We see a lot of these campaigns, but let's just break it down. What is prostate cancer?
So to understand that, we have to know what the prostate is. The prostate is a gland, just like the tonsil is a gland. But this gland, the prostate gland, sits in the male pelvis between the bladder and the rectum. And sometimes cells in this gland can begin to divide uncontrollably. And sometimes they can become a cancer.
The good news is it is relatively slow growing, correct? And that if this is discovered, it's quite treatable?
That's absolutely correct, and it really depends on screening programs, and I know we're going to talk about screening in a lot more detail.
Yeah, and Dr. Barnes, let's turn to you for this screening. Let's talk about just the process of getting screened, and at what age, I mean, for men like myself, at what age should we start requesting these screenings from our doctor?
Well, I really like that you use the word request. Ever since 2014, there's been a move in medicine where in primary care arenas that the patient should engage the physician in a discussion before that screening starts. And that's where most of it occurs versus in the specialist office. In men who are in the ultra high risk group, as I mentioned before, you really want to start screening at age 40 for those men. In the high risk group, African Americans and somebody with a primary degree relative, we start at age 45. And in the low risk group, we start screening at age 50 years of age and generally extend that annually for most patients until age 70 or 75. The screening is pretty simple. Primarily, the screening consists of a blood test, PSA, prostatic specific antigen. That may be paired with a digital rectal exam, but the PSA is the most specific we have right now at our utility, and it merely is a blood draw, less than $100. and it can easily obtain in any general laboratory.
And let's talk about prevention, because I feel like this needs to be talked about. You know, we don't want heart or lung disease, stop smoking, or, you know, this seems like, well, tell me what not to do. And there really isn't sort of a foolproof method here. Is that right, Dr. Khwaja?
That's absolutely correct. When we talk about risk is defined by our genetics and the environment, and particularly the interplay between the two. There is currently no foolproof way to prevent prostate cancer. And really the best course of action that has been associated with decreased lifetime risk is a healthy diet and regular exercise. But other than that, there isn't any concrete foolproof way to prevent prostate cancer.
Healthier diet, regular exercise, which are good, you know, good things
Habits,
in general, right? They can help us avoid a lot of disease. Let's talk about treatment. In the event that, you know, that you or someone you know is diagnosed with prostate cancer, is it a combination of treatment therapies? Because I understand that there's also a kind of a range of roads to go down here.
That's absolutely correct. And really, this is a discussion that should be had in a multidisciplinary fashion with a urologist, a radiation oncologist, sometimes a medical oncologist. And I'm going to let Dr. Barnes talk about the urology aspect.
And we're working to get Dr. Barnes back on virtually, too.
Good.
So if you can continue, that would be fantastic, Dr. Khwaja.
Absolutely. And from a radiation standpoint, there's external beam techniques, and then there's something called brachytherapy, which is a way to deliver localized therapy directly into the prostate. And chemotherapy, as you bring up there, is something that our medical oncology colleagues certainly specialize in. And it ultimately is a matter of developing a personalized care plan between the patient and the providers, which include the urologist, radiation oncologist, and medical oncologist. There are some situations that surgery is the right course of action. Some situations where radiation therapy is the right course of action. And sometimes it's a combination of all of these different modalities. So this is where having a clinically integrated team that works in a multidisciplinary fashion will give our patients the best care.
And thanks for being patient with us, of course, working with Zoom on these virtual calls. We're working to get Dr. Barnes back in. And while we do so, if we can, Dr. Khwaja and Dr. Bond, if you're able to hear us, we talked about screening, we talked about prevention. What about signs? Are there any warning signs that maybe something might be wrong?
Absolutely. And, you know, the prostate is like I mentioned, is an organ that sits in the pelvis, and a lot of times in the PSA screening area, there is no signs or symptoms, but certainly anything in regards to urination needs to be addressed with the primary care doctors and potentially urologists. Prostate cancer is a cancer that can spread to the bone if it does spread, and so bony pain is another potential sign of more advanced cancer.
And I do believe we do have Dr. Nathaniel Barnes, who is rejoining us now through the miracles of technology. But guys, before we let you go, because we are very tight on time, we should underscore early detection is key. And in order to have that early detection, we got to get screened.
That's right.
Absolutely. I mean, early detection is key, particularly in high-risk groups. If diagnosed early, our opportunity to impact the disease positively and to even cure the disease is enhanced.
Dr. Nathaniel Barnes, thanks. We were glad that we got you back on the call here. And Dr. Sharik Khwaja, thank you both for joining us today. Great information. Also, I think it's important to continue the conversation, that line of communication. Are you feeling good? Do you have symptoms? Let's go get this checked out is really important as well.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
And for more information about prostate cancer screening and treatments, you can visit cancer.memorialhermann.org/prostate-cancer, or you can call 833-770-7771.
And we'll be right back with a preview of the new Nelson Mandela exhibit at the Holocaust Museum, Houston.
To just come on here and congratulate you and the entire Houston Live team on the 3 o'clock hour. It's going to be so great, and we are so excited for y'all.
Congrats, Houston Live, on your big move on 3 ES. That's right. Congrats, Houston Life. We can't wait to see you guys all back in the studio real soon.
Houston Life, congrats on moving to 3 p.m. I'm so excited because it's the perfect time for the second half of the day for more laughs.
All right, more laughs and more learning. We can't wait to get back into the studio and teach you everything you need to know about manners, etiquette, and protocol. The Lewises are loving Houston Life.
You guys are the best.
We love you back. We love seeing everyone. Of course, Sarah Tarazinski.
Matt and Gemini from the Floriculture.
With the beautiful plants in the background.
Monica and Darian Lewis.
Oh, they are so much fun. We love all these shout outs, and you can actually do that as well. There's more information on our website, HoustonLife.tv. Surprise us, okay?
It is a fun surprise because we never know who's coming.
I know, that's true. Okay, well, the Holocaust Museum Houston just debuted a brand new exhibit called Mandela, Struggle for Freedom, which takes a look back at Nelson Mandela's journey, plus his fight for justice and human dignity.
Houston Life reporter Joe Sam is highlighting the new exhibit and its relevance to issues today. Joe, tell us what you're seeing.
Well, we're seeing a lot, Courtney and Derek, very interactive elements that they have here at the Holocaust Museum Houston, just like this recreation of 7x8 cell of Nelson Mandela that you can see here. And it's very interactive because when you walk inside, you can actually see the movie that plays, and it gives you the sense of the 18 years that he spent inside of his cell fighting for freedom, equality, and racial justice. So, of course, we're going to go ahead and talk right now to the CEO, Ms. Kelly, here to give us some information about this interactive exhibit that people can come and check out themselves.
Well, it is truly interactive, and we have 40 artifacts that you can look at that are quite interesting. But it is interactive from the standpoint of video, film, and we have an interesting touch screen that we're going to take a look at in a few moments.
So, actually, let's get ready to start taking a look at what we can see here in this exhibit, because there are so many different things that people can see when they come here, just like all of the different stories that they see painted back here on the backgrounds as we walk through. So explain to us a little bit about what is the importance of this all, making sure that we showcase Nelson Mandela's life and what he was fighting for so long, as we already know, president of South Africa and such a strong leader within every community.
Well, I think from the standpoint that he stood up for human rights for everyone, not only just in South Africa, but all over the world. And it became a worldwide movement to fight apartheid. And after all of his struggles, being in prison for 27 years, he still had this amazing heart for healing the country of South Africa.
And when we talk about healing, we're going to continue seeing that as we walk through this exhibit here, because it takes you through all of the oppression that we've seen, but then the joy that came from it after he did what he did and the fight that he had to fight. We can see this here, what we were talking about earlier, over 100 people who had to see these come through, these huge tanks, unimaginable as we talk about that now. And you have a replica of that here as well, just to give people the imagery of what was happening.
And this is also from the standpoint of generational. That's important. You know, his struggle was 48 years in length. And so think about the generations that grew up during this time period. And this particular area was about repression. And the fact that at this point in time in the 80s, a whole generation of individuals fighting for their human rights as well and joining the movement with Mandela.
Absolutely. And when we talk about that interactive element, you guys, come walk over here, because we actually can see what people can do when we talk about safety precautions too. We have everything that we need with the gloves. We can create our own posters here. When we come in, we can choose the colors of the poster, and we can choose what we want to make on the posters. And then once we finish creating that, it's broadcasted here.
Shows right up here, which is actually a lot of fun.
And I think a lot of people will get a good gist of it all, just on how this was actually created for them to come and enjoy here with these interactive elements. Tell people when they can come and check this out, because I know it's going to be free for people this weekend.
Yes, this Saturday is our Human Rights Expo, and I'd like to encourage everyone to come. And it's free all day from 10 to 5. Please go online and register, time register, because we expect a lot of people to come and see the Mandela exhibition. So register for your time ticket, and we'll look forward to seeing you here at that time.
Absolutely, Ms. Kelly. Thank you so much for that information. We're going to have all of that information as well on our website so that you can check out those tickets and come and check out this amazing exhibit, Mandela, Struggle for Freedom. Back to you, Courtney, Derek.
Oh, Joe, thanks so much. It's great to see that, get a sneak peek of that. There's so much, and I love that it's so interactive as well.
Very nice. An incredible life he lived. All right, we will be right back with a look at what's happening tomorrow on Houston Life. Don't go away.
Coming up on tomorrow's show, we're going to talk about blue light exposure. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, I'm getting this as a problem for my eyes. Listen, we know that online learning, Zoom meetings have increased our screen time, but find out how to protect your skin from possible damage from these rays. Dermatologist Dr. Sherry Ingraham is going to share some tips.
I had no idea blue light was bad for your skin. Okay, also this on your screen, Kombucha Company. Have you heard of it? The fizzy drink is quite popular among health enthusiasts. Lauren Kelly will take a trip over to the Kombucha Company in Richmond to get a behind-the-scenes look at how the drink is made. That looks like a bunch of yeasty goodness. I'm a big fan of kombucha.
I do too. I love it.
The more bitter, the better.
Like your heart. I know, that's what you always say.
You're learning from me.
I am.
I'm like a proud dad with dad jokes.
I know.
All right, and with that, we're going to hand it off to Keith and Christine and Frank ahead of the news at 4. Hey, guys.
Your heart's not bitter.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We
no, we love you guys.
We try to be as sweet as possible on this side.